All right. Good evening, good evening, good evening. I hope everybody is doing well. I hope you guys have had an amazing weekend. Beautiful weather here today, but windy. The wind was definitely kicking today. So it happens. What are you going to do? I hope, like I said, you were able to get some stuff done that you wanted to get done. Yes. Now you're going to start. It's like she knows, folks. I'm telling you. She's been laying there just all chilled out, and the camera goes on, and she's like, "Here I am." What? No, don't lick that. Anyway, welcome, welcome. Let's see. We got Lori's in the house. Kathy's here. Delbert's here. Uh, we have Okie Forge is in the house. Carol Prince. JJ is here. Wishika. Billy the Kid Norwood. JK's in the house. DJ is here. Michigan Lifestyle. Umlet Design. I probably did. I get that right this time? I think I did. Julie Evans, Greg's here. Good week, good evening, everybody. Glad to have you here. Before we get started, I just want to remind everybody, getting closer. Okay, good. Before we get started, I just want to remind everybody that this is a very okay. You got to go. Go on now. Very family friendly oriented channel. I would ask you all to please be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. If you cannot abide by those very simple, easy rules, those awesome people lit up in blue with the blue wrenches are going to boot you out of here because we are not going to have that. All right. So let's focus on having a good chat and going from there. So I know we're gonna focus on talking about food and stuff like that in this video, but I have to bring this up. I saw two couple things, couple things. Oh, hold on. Heather Bell, I just started my live stream. I don't know why. Oh yeah, yeah. All right, let me look. All right, bye. No problem. I love you too. Bye. All right, hold on a second, folks. Give me just 1 second. Okay. All right. Hold on. I'm sorry. Just 1 second, my daughter. So let me God darn it. Okay, sorry about that. Just issues that I had to deal with real quick for her. I know that's what you wanted to do, right? See me on the phone. Kids, it's always, I'm going to tell you what, it's just kids are awesome, but there's always something. So there's something I had to take care of for her. So that's okay. Hopefully that takes care of it and we're good. Okay, so two things that I saw before we really get into the chat here, and very, very funny, in my opinion. Very, very funny. So the first one is the thought police, right? The thought police. They're all up in arms. And here's the best part about this, guys. This is the best part about this. It is um, always against Trump, right? The big thing is this man is not worthy. Yeah, she's okay. She got it. This man is not worthy of being in office. He, The way with the things that he's saying is, that's not a person who's in leadership. I mean, just the same rhetoric that we heard for 4 years of his presidency. So I was laughing at that. Now, the second thing I was laughing at, Hochul, the governor of New York, came on the View, and this is I love this stuff too because they always take everything out of context, and of course the blame is always on who? Blame is always on Trump. So they had that bill that they were trying to push through, for it was, and again, let's put it into perspective. 20 billion for the border, right? This was in the bill. The bill was 20 billion for the border, 60 billion for Ukraine, 14 billion for Israel, and then it was another, like, I can't remember how many billion for aid for Gaza, right? So we're funding both sides of stuff over there, which is just great, great. So the bill got shot down, and they're saying that it was Trump's fault, right? Uh, and if I'd like to donate a load of driveway stone, how much is it? Well, Ricky Bobby, I appreciate you saying that. The load that we just had put in was 25 tons. It was $720 for that load. It's not cheap. It is not cheap at all. And if you would do that, that would be absolutely fantastic. That would definitely help. There's another section that I could use another load in right now that would really help that section. So I would appreciate that. Yeah. JJ has just put up my email address if you want to try to get a hold of me. So I do appreciate that. Appreciate you asking that too. That's awesome. Yeah, we have put a lot of money into that road. And again, we're getting better. Yep, I still have my website. My website's still there. We're in the process of switching some things up with the website, getting onto a better platform so it's faster and it's better. I have my IT guy working on that, and as soon as we get that all going, I'll start talking about the website more because right now it's been a mess. So just letting you know that as well. All right, so I appreciate the questions. So anyway, so Hochul comes on the View, and she's complaining that it's Trump's fault that we don't have the border security, and it's Trump's fault with the issues of New York State, with New York City, with all the immigrants and stuff like this, because he called around and talked to all the different people that were Republicans and told them not to do it. How do you get your internet down there? Do you have a dish? No, I actually do it through Verizon. I'm with Verizon, and so I have a package because I'm a small business. That's part of what I got going here. So it's a business package. So I have a box basically that I plug in to my electric, and that is how I get my internet and and everything like that. And it's so much a month, so many things. I can't remember exactly what the number is, but there's so much a month, and I generally don't go over because realistically, I'm not on my computer that much. I try not to be. I would rather, especially when the weather's nice, I'd rather be outside. So, um, anyway, so so she's on there blaming Trump for calling the different people and shooting down the bill. When the reality is, the reason that bill got shot down by Republicans, okay, was because of the excessive aid package, three times what they wanted to send to our southern border. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, and what do I know? I'm just an ignorant citizen. Wouldn't our border priority be more important than what we're doing over in Ukraine? And what about all the money we've already given Ukraine, right? Where my question would be with that, where's the accounting, right? If Trump was able to do all that, all I got to say is thank you. Yeah, and you know what, Dale, I agree. First of all, we should be sending no more money to Ukraine. We shouldn't be sending any money over to Israel. What Israel's going on over there is Israel's problem, okay? And you know what? Again, the Gaza Strip, they did what's going on right now to themselves, and I don't care, you know? And what does that have to do with us? Why Why, as an American, should our tax dollars go over there and fund all that? Where so and here's a question I have, where all these congressmen and congresswomen complaining about the whole situation over there in Gaza. Oh my God, and the poor Gazians are starving. How much of their money have they donated to help out with that? I'm just curious. That's a I have no idea what it is, but you know, where's their commitment other than to complain? What are they doing to help the poor Gazans who are starving and all this type of stuff, you know? And I got to bring up this other point as well, because of course, now I'm on a roll, because I was reading this stuff today, and I'm like, you got to be freaking kidding me. Now all of a sudden you have like Chucky Schumer, right? Turning on Israel, because now we have a small percentage of people in the country that don't want that what's going on over there. Small communities up in, oh, I don't know, maybe Dearborn, Michigan, right? So they're crying and complaining. So now you got these Democrats are turning around going, oh, well, something, we need a ceasefire. We need to do this. Where it's not our war. We don't get to tell other people what they do with their country. This is what kills me. Why is it up to us? Why is it up to America? Well, we should exert pressure on Israel to stop the people that butchered their people. Would we? Right? We wouldn't. What we would do, let's see, what would America do if we were attacked on our land? Let's see. Oh, yeah. We might go off to other countries and have 20-year wars, killing indiscriminately, of course, killing men, women, and children as well. That's what we would do, right? Oh, that's right. We just did that. You know what? The pot should never call the kettle black. Okay. The pot should never call the kettle black. So we need to take care of what we need to take care of here. If there was a border bill that protected our border, a standalone bill, not with all kinds of pork in it, not with all kinds of things attached to it. And also, just so you guys know too, and I don't know if you guys had saw this, that border bill took away Texas's rights to be able to defend their own border. Just so you know, that was part of that whole deal as well. So, but anyway, so that's just some of the rants that were in my head today. Some of the things that I was reading, it was driving me a little bit crazy. And New York, what's going on in New York City? New York did that to themselves because they wanted to be a sanctuary city, and we're going to help everybody, and we're a big old melting pot. How's that working out for you? Now they want to spend 2.4 billion in the next fiscal year to help just illegal immigrants, right? Just to help them. But their 4.3 billion deficit in New York State, the budget is a 2.4 billion, or I mean 4.3 billion deficit, but yet they want to pop on 2.4 billion just to help the poor illegal immigrants that came here illegally. I am so glad I am out of that state, folks. You have no idea. Um, I wanted to be out of there for years and years and years, but because of family obligations and children and all that type of stuff, I stayed. And it's just gotten worse and worse and worse. And I'm telling you, anybody that can do it, anybody that can do it, are getting out of states like California. They're getting out of states like New York, and they're going elsewhere because we've been talking about leaving New York. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Anybody that's still there, I mean, like I'll be honest with you. I've been trying to talk my daughter into coming down here. Her and her boyfriend are more than welcome to come down here. They could stay down here. I would love to have them here. So it's insanity what's going on, and it's amazing how the blame is always shifted, right? And people, honestly, people cannot be that stupid to think, um, that this is the Republicans' fault when, as soon as Biden got into office, he stopped all the things, all the executive orders that Trump had done to protect the border. He stopped all them, and we've had a mass migration of people coming in here ever since. So obviously, the blame falls squarely on the Democrats' shoulders. And the other thing that really pisses me off about the whole thing, just putting it out there, why now? Why now all of a sudden are the Democrats concerned about the border? Oh, that's right, because it's an election year. Only reason, folks. And you know what? Oh, and I saw this too. I promise we'll get into talking about food very shortly. I promise we will. The other thing that I just saw is a couple of polls. Biden is now pulled ahead of Trump in the overall thing for the election. BS. I'm sorry. No way. People are so sick and tired of this administration. Okay. People are so tired. And you have so many people that are dealing with so much crap because of this administration that you think they're going to go, oh, you know what? Yes, 4 more years of that, please. No way. Yeah, if we're all going with electric, how about starting with the border wall? Exactly. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So anyway, all right. That's my rant on that for the first 15 minutes of the stream. I'm sorry. I see these things and it drives me nuts. And it's like, and I just go, people can't be that stupid to believe this. They just can't. So we got 345 in the chat, folks. We got 136 thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel. I do appreciate that, and I thank you ahead of time. Also, it really does make a big difference with the algorithms. So the more interaction for the channel, the better. So I do appreciate that as well. Also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Hit the bell icon to get all notifications as well. And I thank you very much for all of that. When I see people saying how great Biden is, I'm like, have you left your basement lately? Yeah, I hear you. I mean, guys, again, if you have any things you want to have stand out for me, all cap locks, please, because it has a tendency to catch my eye better. So thank you for that too. But yeah, it's just the insanity just never ceases to amaze me. It really doesn't. So, but anyway, all right. So let's talk about food. So again, during this administration, right? Food prices have gone up, what, 25%? 25% food prices have gone up, right? And now, again, this is what kills me. This is what kills me. Because it's an election year, all of a sudden now Trump gives a crap, not Trump, I'm sorry, Biden, sorry, I'm like on the Trump mindset. Biden gives a crap about, oh, I'm going after the grocery stores and they're overcharging people and blah 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 and all this type of stuff, right? Talking about shrinkflation, which means smaller packaging or deceptive packaging, concave bottoms to make it look like it's still the same size, but it has less in it, but the same price, of course. Um, this it's just a revolving thing of BS. Food prices are a huge part of people's budgets. And they were saying, and I saw this and I was like, really? People go to the grocery store that much? It was saying that the average family goes to the grocery store 3 days a week. I sure don't. You know what I mean? I sure don't. Oh my goodness gracious. I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me. I don't know how anybody could afford to go to the grocery store. I'll tell you what, honestly, guys, I go to the grocery store and when I go in there, my mindset is always this: keep it under $100. Keep it under $100. I'm gonna tell you what, $100 don't go so far. Not so far at all. So, I'm trying to be really smart with what I'm buying now when I go to the grocery store. Uh, just because it's outrageous. It is absolutely outrageous, and what are you getting? I mean, you look at like I said, the prices have just gotten completely out of control. It's like with the Cheez-Its, right? The Cheez-Its, I like the Cheez-Its, but when a box of Cheez-Its is like $6, and if I'm gonna buy it, guys, I'm gonna buy the big box. I'm not gonna go buy a small box or something. I'm gonna get the bigger box, just so it lasts longer. And actually, price wise, it's cheaper to buy, the bigger one. So, but it's just so that's why you're not seeing the Cheez-Its anymore because it's like it's gotten too expensive. And and I buy the knockoff cereal. The only thing that I buy cereal wise that is the regular is my shredded wheat because I can't get the big things, the bricks of shredded wheat, other than through Post. So I buy those. But if I buy the Rice Krispies or if I buy Raisin Bran, it is definitely the knockoff brand because I'm not paying, $6 for a box of cereal or a box of cereal. I'm not paying that. That's just it's insanity, you know. So the prices of food have gotten absolutely out of control. And then if you look at the price of fast food, right? You can't really if it's a husband and wife, right? Husband and wife, and you got like 3 kids, you're looking at $40 to go to McDonald's. I mean, it's insanity. I it's like and yet it's amazing, especially McDonald's, and I don't know why. Um, the amount of people that are there constantly at McDonald's, it blows me away. It absolutely blows me away. It's craziness. So, it's just so fast food, yeah, but expensive fast food, and how are you getting ahead ever doing that? You can't. That's got to be something that's got to be a treat once in a while. And to me, if you do that, right? If you're looking at I want to do something special, I want to do I'd rather go buy a steak. And let's talk about that as far as food goes. They're saying that people buying beef is down like 20%. Yeah, because they've made it so expensive. Um, you just how do you afford to do it? You know what I mean? If and I'm not a huge beef eater. All right. If I had my druthers, I'd rather eat chicken. That's just me personally. But I like a steak once in a while, right? But they're so freaking expensive. It is unbelievable. Unbelievable. And but it's just how are people doing it? They're not. They're cutting that out, not because they don't want to buy beef. It's just that it's become unaffordable, along with everything else. Yeah, a once a month kind of thing, Sandwich said. Exactly. So, yeah, Carla says, I'm getting stronger in my old age. I can carry out $100 worth of food in one hand. That's funny. Yeah, it's funny, but it's sad at the same time. It is very, very sad. You know, uh, it's it's hard trying to get ahead. And I'm gonna remind everybody in the chat of a statement that I made quite a while ago. Quite a while ago. And I say, and I've been preaching this for years, realistically. If you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you can say, oh, yeah, Prepper Nurse One has said this. I have said, stock up on food, stock up on food, stock up on food. I said, because food is never going to be cheaper than it is right now, right? So even right now, as we sit here and as high as prices are for food, this is going to be the cheapest that you're going to be able to get food. It's not going to get better. It's only going to get worse. Okay. So again, um, that I run a food truck business out of Ontario, Canada. People try to beat me down on my pricing. Hold on a second. I need to read the rest of that. Um, Yeah, think nothing of dropping $20 at McDonald's. Oh, I hear you. They do it all the time. The small town up in New York where we lived, they had a McDonald's, they had a Taco Bell, they had an Arby's, and they had a Burger King in the town. Okay, that McDonald's was always jammed. Me and my daughter used to talk about that all the time. We're like, look at all the freaking people at McDonald's. It was crazy. To me, it was crazy. But that line, boy, I'll tell you what, as soon as they're open, they are jamming. They are jamming. So, but oh yeah, about smoking too. Oh my God, how do they afford to smoke? Exactly. Especially if you live in New York, folks. I don't know how people can afford to smoke. I really don't. I, I know I've mentioned this before, and I'll just tell you this, guys, really, really quickly. I quit smoking at 16. I started smoking at 12. By the time I was 16, I was up to 2 packs a day. And I quit for 2 reasons. Two, well, actually, it was three. One, I could feel the way it made me feel, and I didn't like the way I was feeling with the smoking. And that was long before you had any of the warnings or anything on the cigarette packs. Okay, this was way before any of that happened. So I didn't like the way it made me feel. I got sick and tired of people bumming cigarettes off me all the time. I couldn't stand that. And the third reason that I quit, and you guys are going to laugh on this, they raised the prices of cigarettes, and they went from 75 cents a pack to $1 a pack. And I was like, I am not paying $1 a pack for cigarettes. And now in New York, if you want a pack of cigarettes, it's over $10 a pack. Over $10 a pack. So really glad I quit when I did. Just insanity. Just insanity. And of course, if you're going to smoke, right, what did you smoke back in the day when I was growing up? You smoked Marlboro Reds because you were cool. You rolled them up in your sleeve in your shirt, right? So that everybody knew you had a pack of cigarettes there. you know, it's craziness. But anyway, going back to what we are talking about as far as like with the food prices go, you know, I would highly, highly, highly recommend again still to stock up because I think that we're heading for a situation, especially with every all the restrictions they're putting on farmers and all that type of stuff was part of this whole green crap that they're doing. And when you have somebody like Bill Gates buying up a ton of farmland, that should be a huge red flag for people. So I'm gonna recommend several things in this video to you guys. Number one, obviously, is get yourself stocked up, have a good supply of food, and when you're doing that, again, always be diverse in what you have. I'm a big believer in freeze dried food because freeze dried food has a long, long, long shelf life. So that's one reason. Okay, that will you can sit there for 30 years and not eat it, and then cook it up, and you're going to be just fine with it. They have a really long shelf life with freeze dried foods. The second thing that I'm going to highly recommend is your shelf stable things, your rice, your honey, your beans. Your beans are a 30-year thing. Rice could be forever. Honey's forever. You know, stock up on that sugar. Get your freeze dried coffee, right? Get your freeze dried coffee. Get those type of things that regular coffee is going to not have a long shelf life, but freeze dried coffee's got 20 years. That's a 20-year shelf life. So even if like the one here is open, okay, 20 years from now, that's still going to be good to use, even if it's open. So those are things you got to think about. That ain't going to last 20 years, but that's okay. It's a good thought. But again, you have to think about planning ahead and looking at the things that you're using on a regular basis. I'm a big believer in canned goods, and canned goods last much longer than you think because what they'll have on them is a best by date. Okay, uh, Brit Boys, British fish and chips, truck one meal free if to you, Ed, if you can make it to Chatham in Ontario, Canada. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. If I'm ever up that way, I've been in Canada many times and love Canada. Thank you so much for the donation. I do appreciate that. But if I ever get back up there again, I definitely will look you up. So I do appreciate that. But again, uh, people are making a run on the stores here. I ask why they're doing that, and they say because of the eclipse, and there would be four times, and there would be four times. Yeah, I don't get this whole eclipse thing. People are losing their mind over this eclipse, which is stupid. Nothing's going to happen. It's an eclipse. That's all it is. It's an eclipse. You know, unless the aliens come out in rocket ships and start blasting us away. You know, coming out of the eclipse. They're waiting for that date. If the aliens are coming or something that was bad is going to happen, it's going to happen no matter what. And it's not going to use the eclipse as the date to do it. What do we got? 433 in the chat, guys. We're at 197 on the thumbs up. Again, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do that to show support for the channel. Again, I do really appreciate that. It makes a huge, huge difference with the algorithms. So I appreciate it for that reason as well. Also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And I thank you ahead of time for that. I'd be more scared about what our government is doing than worrying about an eclipse, to be honest with you. Where they got their fingers in what pies and the crap that they're doing and the stuff that they've got going on. I'd be more concerned about that. The other thing, like I said, as far as food storage goes, talking about canned goods. Canned goods will have a best by date on them, which does not mean that they expire, which a lot of people think, oh, that's the expiration date. No, as long as the can is not swollen or when you open it up, there's a bad smell, that's still edible. I have eaten, and I swear to you, I've done this, guys. I've eaten stuff that was 6 years past the best by date. The only difference is that it starts to lose nutritional value after that best by date. That's the only thing that changes. The only thing that changes. So the food will still be good. You can still eat it. It just won't be as nutritionally good as it was before. So, you have to take that into consideration. But if you're stocking up, let's say, and again, I'm going to use because I love these spaghettios with meatballs, right? So you like spaghettios with meatballs, so you have 20 cans. We're just going to go with that because it's not a huge number, but it's a lot more than most people would have on hand. But you have 20 cans of spaghettios. So what you do is you go, okay, so I'm going to eat the can that I bought first, right? Eat that can, replace it with two. Now you have 21 cans of SpaghettiOs. And you keep doing that. Number one, you're building your stock up. Number two, you're eating your oldest stuff first so that, you're making sure that that is in that rotation. That would be the way to do that. So, and again, buy what you like to eat. Why would you? Okay, so here's an example. I'm not a big fan of lima beans. Not a big fan of lima beans. So I don't stock up on lima beans. I don't because I don't eat them. I don't like them. I'm gonna stock up on corn. I'm gonna stock up on peas. Uh, I'm gonna stock up on French style green beans because I like all those. Those are things that I like. So it's just I'll eat those. So that's what I stock up on. I stock up on peaches and pears and fruit cocktail, uh, pineapples. Those are the type of things I like to stock up on because that's all stuff I will eat. So again, that's what I would think that would be the best way. I had some drained beet sorts, yellow-eyed beans. They won't get done. Y'all know what they won't get done. Y'all know why. Why won't they get done? If you're storing up on beans, have a very very strong shelf life, very very long shelf life. Pastas are another one, like your spaghetti and stuff like that. Long shelf life on those type of things. Again, like I have pinto beans, black beans, all the you name it, split peas, yellow and green. Uh, you know, black eyed peas. God, I just you name it, beans wise, I got it, and I stock up on it. I believe, like I said, you need to be diverse in what you're eating. Number one, you don't want to be eating the same thing over and over and over again. Another thing that I would say definitely stock up on, and in large quantities, is oatmeal or rolled oats. You can get them. They come in bags of 25 pounds of rolled oats. Those are great to have. They're very, very filling meal, and so those are things that I would highly encourage people to store up on. But anyway, the other thing that we should all be doing, every one of us in this chat should be doing, is gardening and canning stuff out of your garden. If you're growing it yourself, you know where it came from, you know what's going on with that. So that's, to me, it's hugely, hugely important to make sure that you're growing a decent garden, you're eating out of your garden as you grow it. And I'm going to tell you right now, anybody that's ever had a garden will tell you there is absolutely no comparison to homegrown tomatoes compared to store bought tomatoes. I don't even buy store bought tomatoes. I will tell you that right now. I don't buy them at all. I eat tomatoes when tomatoes are in season, and that is it. That's it. Other times I don't eat tomatoes because it's crap. It's not even close to being the same. Does anyone know how long spaghetti sauce is stored in glass jars will last? Okay, that's a good question, Denise, because I had stored up a bunch of spaghetti sauce that way in the glass jars. Used to get them at Wegmans, and then they went to the plastic jars. But anything with acidic based, which is your tomato based stuff, doesn't last as long. It figures it doesn't. I ended up having to throw out a whole bunch of stuff because I was like, well, I'll stock up on it and I'll have it and I'm good, right? It doesn't last. So you got to look at what is the things like that acid based stuff will eat through the cans. Your tomato, your tomato paste, tomatoes in a can, all that type of stuff don't last, folks. It just doesn't last. And it's unfortunate, but it really, really doesn't. So you have to. That's another thing that. And are you going to be doing raised beds soon? I'm not sure if we're going to get raised beds in this year, to be honest with you. There's a lot of other things that we're really going to be focused on. We are going to definitely be doing gardens this year, not just like the one small garden here that I have by where I park my truck. We're going to pick out some other spots and work on garden areas for other spots as well. So, do I plan on having a greenhouse, Donna? Good question. And yes, I would like to. I would like to try to get one up this year. We kind of have an idea. And I saw the article and I thought this would be ideal, especially, where we're at. It is a partially underground greenhouse where it even extends your growing season longer. And, so we may look at trying to do something like that. That's going to cost a lot. Whatever way we go. If we buy a regular greenhouse, it's going to cost money. If we're going to have, this non-traditional type of greenhouse, that's going to cost money too. So, most likely, I would like to try to get that part going. We're definitely planning. Let's see, Dawn is saying I planted a bunch of herbs and other things today, so they'll be ready to go out in May. Oh, very cool, Dawn. That's good. That's good. Yeah. So, I was going to tell you guys this too. So, anybody that, again, if you guys been watching the channel, we put in how many fruit trees did we plant last year? I think it was like 30. We put in like 30 fruit trees up here, two fig trees. We put in, I think, six pear. We got four peach trees, a bunch of apple trees, and I know we put in three cherry trees as well. And I was out today walking around. I took a nice walk actually today, a really nice walk, just me and the dog, and nice and quiet, and it was peaceful. I actually even left the phone back here, but I was checking on my fruit trees, and every one of them is budding. Every one of them is looking good. The peach trees, especially, they're flowering. And again, I was reaching for my phone because I wanted to take a picture of it, and I'm like, crap, I don't have my phone on me. Of course, that's how it goes. But I had left the phone in the house here, and but yeah, I things are starting to blossom a little bit here and there, and the cherry trees are starting up as well. So really, really happy. I have not seen any bears lately. I know we have bears here, so uh, you know, yeah, nothing like a walk with your pal. Oh my God! And I'll tell you, guys, she's learning. She's learning. She gets a little bit too far ahead of me. I call her back, and she comes right back. Um, you know, she was really good on the walk, really, really good on the walk. So that was, and she normally stays pretty tight to me anyway. So that's always a good thing as well. So, but anyway, food is going to be really, really important moving forward. There's a lot of signs out there that are indicating that we're going to have some issues. As far as food, obviously the prices have gone up the way that they've gone up already. With all these green restrictions that they're trying to implement, it's going to make harder for the farmers to grow food. So again, I would highly recommend growing your own gardens, getting as much. And again, there's a win-win with growing your own garden. Okay, well, there's many win-wins with garden growing. Number one, if you're growing your own garden, you're learning what works and what doesn't work. You're learning what plants to put together that are going to grow good together, and what plants are not good to grow together. You might want to like that area by the truck. Okay, this year, what I'm planning on doing with that area right there, that is all going to be potatoes. I'm putting nothing but potatoes in that area this year. So, and I'm going to put different varieties of potatoes in that area. We're going to continue to work with that type of stuff. We're going to have other areas where we're getting other things in. And so, you know, gardening is important. You have to learn what works, what doesn't work. I'm going to tell you again, and I've said this many, many times, folks, and please listen to what I'm telling you right here. When it comes to gardening, when it comes to gardening, 90% of gardening is the soil. Soil is the key. If you have good soil, you're going to have a better production, a better yield. What I did in New York, with the raised beds in New York, we were doing hudiculture with that. So I put a lot of logs and branches and all that type of stuff in the very bottom of the raised beds, and then we put the dirt on top of that. Now, when I brought that dirt in to put on that, I used composted cow manure. All right. Very, very rich, very good for the soil, and it grows really well. What you should be doing every single year when the leaves fall off the trees, instead of raking them up and putting them in bags and putting them on the curb for the town to come and take them, you should be mulching those leaves into your garden. Okay. You should be mulching those leaves into your garden. I think that's really, really important. It's a big factor. It really helps enrich the soil and it just makes it better and better. So, those are things to think about. I know that some towns, I know the town I lived in when I lived in Greece, New York, they would take all those leaves and the twigs and all that, and they would compost it all, mulch it all up, and then you would get that for free. So if I called the town and said, "Hey, bring me 2 truckloads of dirt," they'll bring you 2 truckloads of dirt and dump them in your driveway, and it was free. It was part of the perk of because of the high taxes you were paying. But that was the way that we got really great dirt for our gardens. And so you have to work on your gardens. You have to, it's not just I'm planting the stuff and it's good and I don't have to worry about it. You've got to take care of that soil. I do not have a rototiller at this point in time. Nope. But different members of the group do, and I know they're planning on that we were going to be doing some rototilling in March until we knew what the forecast was, and we knew we were going to have rain all day on a Saturday, so we didn't end up, doing any rototilling. But hopefully, come April when we do our get together in April, we will be able to get the rototiller out there and go from there and get things turned and get it going. So. But I've been turning my 2 beds by spade shovel. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. So, but anyway, again, folks, there's a lot to it when it comes to gardening. You have to work at it. But again, grow different things, try different areas if you can do different garden beds, because maybe if you put tomato plants in over here, they'll do well, but they might not. So if you have another spot where you have tomato plants, maybe that spot will do well. It's a trial and error type of thing. You have to learn. So by putting in gardens and learning what works and what doesn't work, that's a win for you, because when a worse situation comes up, you don't want to be trying to figure it out when it's life or death. That's the key. Okay, that is a key. You've got to figure things out before it's life and death. The other thing that I would highly recommend is canning. Uh, you have an abundant crop of whatever it could be: potatoes, tomatoes, beans, carrots, whatever the case is. Can. Get it up, get it on the shelf, mark your date on your can. You know when you did it. Use that for cooking the rest of the year. So if you want to have vegetables that came from your garden, that you did not use chemicals on it and all that type of stuff. Um, yeah, move your planting around in the gardens each year. Yes, 80 came in. That's a great point. I'm sorry, I should have brought that up too. So here's the thing. So if I have this plot of area that I want to garden in the last year I put tomatoes at this end of the garden. This year I will take and put the tomatoes at the other end of the garden. You don't plant the same thing in the same spot year after year after year. What we did in New York, we had the 9 raised beds in New York. In each year, we would put different things in those beds. So if we put potatoes in this section last year, of that, I used a whole bed for potatoes up there, if you guys remember. The next year they went to a different bed, and then we put the tomato or potatoes in that bed. Always rotate. You don't want to have the same things. Different plants use nutritionally different things, and you don't want to, you know, mess your gardens up that way. You'll kill the soil. If you plant corn every single year in the same spot, year after year after year, you're going to mess it up. You're going to kill that soil. So it's really, really important to stay on top of that. All right, we're going to get ready to do the egg count, but we got 440 in the chat. We got 259 on the thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel. I do appreciate that. And thank you ahead of time. It really does make a huge difference with the algorithms too. So the more interaction we have for that, the better it is for the channel. So again, I thank you for that reason as well. Again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And I thank you for that as well. So how many eggs today? And yes or no for the white hen. So let's do that. And we will do that in a moment. I will tell you this, yesterday, which was not an egg count day, I pulled 6 eggs yesterday. They all laid again. So that's the second time that all of them laid. And I was really happy about that. I was like, oh, yeah, there we go. So that was that. But give you guys a moment and I will tell you what the egg count was for today. All right, so you guys saw the DJ changed up his answer today and he put 5 in yes. Was that correct? No, it was not. Full of Hope was in there with the second guess, and her guess was 4 eggs and yes for the white hen, which was absolutely the correct answer. So congratulations to Full of Hope. You got it. See, DJ, you got all trying to get all cute, changing it up. Should have stayed the same. But yes, Full of Hope is the winner today. So she's won absolutely nothing. So congratulations to Full of Hope. But you are happy about winning nothing. So that is a good thing. Yeah, 4 eggs today. And the white hen did lay. But yesterday, folks, I did. I got 6 eggs yesterday. And I was like, oh, check that out. So but anyway, yes. So there we are. Yeah, there. And again, I have 6 hens. Uh, if I on a regular basis, I'll be honest with you. If I get 4 eggs a day on a regular basis, I'm happy. I mean, and you get those days where you're going to get sick like that. It's like perfect. But yeah, they're a lot of fun. I really enjoy the chickens. But anyway, so that's that. Um, Oh yes, yeah, I got her. Yeah, I shoot him off, and I got her. That's why I had to stop that video. I was like, no, no, no. Well, see, the thing is, well, she's just gone into heat, so usually it's not until the 10th, 11th, 12th day where they're most fertile, or fertile. I'm sorry, where they're most fertile, and then that's when you really want to get them hooked up. So with her just going into heat, it would have been too early anyway. But those dogs can smell when the female's in heat and they come around. So, just have to. Did you name your chickens? I've named a couple of them. If you guys remember, the rooster is George Lucky Jefferson. Lucky because I don't know how he made it out here. If you guys remember the story, how he just showed up one day out here in the middle of the woods, in the middle of nowhere, and so we kept him and made him safe. My black hen, her name is Wheezy. See, George and Wheezy Jefferson. Because we'll call them the Jeffersons because I had built this crappy temporary chicken coop until we got something better, and then Paul and Barbara had brought the other chicken coop, so they had moved up like the Jeffersons, right, to the deluxe apartment in the sky. So that's why they are the Jeffersons. The other hens, I really haven't named them yet. And yeah, moving on up. That's right, Don. So that's why they became the Jeffersons. So I haven't really named the other ones yet. Those are things that kind of happen of their own accord. Their names come, and you just do that. The other thing, again, with gardening, utilizing your manure from your animals, from your chickens. Rabbit poop is probably the absolute best thing that you can put into your gardens. Chicken poop, you have to be careful with that. A lot of acidity. What I did up in New York, what I would do is when I cleaned out the chicken coop once a year, and it would be, thick, full of everything. I would set that aside for a year, and then the following year, I would take that and put it into the garden beds. Really, then it's really good. That really makes a big, big difference. Um, so that's important. You want to make sure you're utilizing that and saving that. Like I said, but rabbit poop, you can put it right in the garden right away, and that's going to be good for the garden. So there's a lot of little tricks that you can learn and figure out. So there's a lot to it with gardening, but once you figure it out and you get it dialed in, again, this is the time that I would highly, again, I've been saying this for years, but I'll say it again, figure it out now, because right now it's still not life and death. Having seeds and all that type of stuff is great, and it's a great thing to have, and it's important to have your seeds back. But if you don't know what you're doing, it's not going to go well. Um, Gardening is an art. It really, really is an art, and you have to figure it out, what you're doing, how it's going, what do you got to do? You got to get out there, you got to weed, all those type of things. So you just have to work on things and everything like that. So, uh, you know, it's a whole ecosystem that you're trying to develop that can work. And I like I said, I love gardening. I absolutely love gardening. And so, we had, if you guys remember last fall, uh, in that area up here by my truck, we had leaves that we packed in there probably 2 foot high, from the garden, or from just from the trees, and put those in there. And that makes a big, big difference. And so that's all composted down now. So I got to just get in there with a rototiller, chop everything up, and we'll get that area ready to go. And like I said, that area is definitely getting potatoes this year. And so, we got a little bit of time that way. Uh, you know, the other thing I would highly recommend, again, like I said, talk about gardening and all that type of stuff, getting fruit trees planted. Okay. And when you're going to put in fruit trees, learn again from my lessons. When I bought the homestead in New York, I got saplings. I got those little bitty saplings. Well, it was years and years and years for them to grow big enough where I was getting any fruit off of those trees. That was a huge mistake. I wasted a lot of time that way. It is better to go ahead, buy your 6 or 7 foot tall trees that are already there to that maturity level. That if you plant them this year, you might not get anything this year, but the second year you absolutely should. You should absolutely get something next year if you plant something this year that it's already an established tree. You put it in, you take care of it, and stuff like that. I having something that is a renewable thing that you're going to get something out of every year. Raspberry bushes, folks. Okay, raspberry bushes are awesome. Um, you know, they do really, really well. They expand on their own. We planted them up in New York when we lived in a town called Greece, and we actually went back by that house, and they took all those bushes out. They took all the raspberry bushes out, and I was like, "What a bunch of idiots!" But it's not for everybody. But we would get out there when it was raspberry season, and the raspberry, and even our neighbors and the other thing, they would just feed up. And they asked, "Hey, can we go ahead?" I said, "Anything you can reach on that side of your fence, go ahead, have at it." You know what I mean? So, how'd your New York apples trees do after you top them? I honestly, I haven't been up there, 80K man, so I really don't know. I'll have to go and check this year when I go up. Some of those trees were the older ones. They were old trees, and so I think some of them started coming back. Not all of them did. Actually had a couple of them died, but I think they were that old and they were that beat up that it just didn't go well. But you know, I had neighbors who had a really good pear trees and they cut them down. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, people just don't think. When you have something that's going to feed you every year, like I said, that's why we went very diverse with what we planted. We planted cherry trees, apple trees, peach trees, and pear trees. Right, all those things for years to come should provide us with quite a bit of food, which would be fantastic if that's how it works out. We put in blueberry bushes. I want to expand the blueberry bushes this year. I would like to try to get more fruit trees planted this year as well, and New York apple trees have a problem with blight. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for letting me know that. But like I said, anything that we can grow down here that is going to, you know, be a perennial, something that's going to there every year, it's going to grow, it's going to do well. That's what we're trying to do. I have the blackberries down here that are indigenous to the whole area. They're all over the place. But I did plant the red raspberries 2 years ago. Last year they expanded. And then I planted other ones last year, and those ones didn't make it for whatever reason. They did not make it. But the ones that I had planted the previous year spread. And I was looking at them today as well. I'll have to do a video. I'll do a video about the fruit trees, sharing you what's going on in the blueberry bushes and the raspberry bushes and all that type of stuff. Yep, I got grapes growing as well. So, what happened with the grapes, though, Alex? I'll tell you. The deer came in and ate them pretty much down to the nubs. So I don't know. I got to do something to protect them better so the deer just don't go having a feast on them again. But it's just like I said again, it's a process. Now you're dealing with wildlife. You're dealing with those things that are going to try to eat what you have. Like with having chickens, it's the same thing. You got to try to protect them from predators and take care of them and do what you need to do to keep them safe as well. So, but it's all like I said, all of that is part of that process, and it takes time and you got to figure it out. And that's why again I will always continue to encourage all of you, uh, learn now, learn while you can, while you have that window of opportunity, because if you think that when SHTF comes that you're just going to go out there, put those seeds in the ground and they're going to grow and you're going to have this great harvest, it's not how it works. But it just doesn't work. So you have to really think about those type of things. And what are you going to do? What are you going to grow? How are you going to do it? Where are you looking at? You know what I mean? So you have to look at all those things, and there's a huge learning curve. I've been gardening since I was a kid. Out in Grandpa and Grandpa's garden, and teaching you and showing you different stuff. It's just like I always plant marigolds at the end of my rows when I'm putting in a garden. And what the marigolds do is they, like some of the bugs out there, don't like marigolds. So they'll stay off of your plants because of the marigolds. Marigolds are, and they're a pretty flower and they look nice but you're doing it for a purpose. And a lot of people, when I talked about that, many years ago, I had a lot of people say, "Wow, I never knew that." But that's what, like I said, I grew up in that environment where, that's what we did and that type of stuff. So, but it's just like I said, it's just we're gonna do what we can. We're gonna continue to year after year after year down here. Obviously, last year was crazy, crazy busy. We had a lot going on, and we're going to have a lot going on again this year, and that's okay. But we'll do what we can, and so very uncommon, not easy to grow, but I love black raspberries. Oh, okay. Yeah, we like I said, we have all kinds of stuff growing wild down here, which is great. The road in, you could stop and pick all kinds of stuff on the way in, which is cool when it's in season. But like I said again, the red raspberries are not common down here. You're not going to see them unless you've planted them. And so, my area where I have my red raspberries, that's expanding, and I'm like happy about that. I want to see that continue to grow. So, Like I said, time is going to tell how things go and what works and what doesn't work. And we'll just, again, if something doesn't make it, then we go, okay, why didn't it make it? What did we do wrong? What can we do to improve that? Right. So that's how you learn. But with having the diversity of your food storage, of what you're storing away, people always talk about, and I wanted to mention this really quickly. They talk about, oh, well, your food storage is only going to last so long. Well, that's what it's designed for, right? Food storage is designed to get you through whatever period of time that you need to work on your garden and getting that, or finally, like if SHTF happens in late fall or early in the winter, most people don't have squat. They don't. They just don't have it. So it's not like you're going to go out and forage and get stuff to eat off the trees and whatever the case may be, because it's not going to be there. But if you have that food storage available to utilize and to help you get through that period of time until you can get your garden in and start getting things growing, like radishes are a really quick one that grows really, really quickly. If you can do that, then that's great. If you don't, then you're going to be in big, big trouble. And that's the key. Is it's a stopgap. That's all food storage is a stopgap. It's not like you're going to sit back 5 years and eat all your food storage and not take care of anything else and all that type of thing. What you want to do is you want that food out as long as you can make it stretch out. Every year, you're going to those potatoes and cut the potatoes up with all the little eyes on them and plant those, because you can take one potato, and if it's got, 6, 7 eyes on it, that's 6, 7 potential plants that can grow you more potatoes. So you can have a huge potato production with very little effort. So I know we got to do shout outs, and I'm just talking away here, but it's important. Potatoes are key, folks. I tell you what, there's another one that I will tell you while I'm thinking about it. If you don't grow anything else, grow potatoes, because you can survive just on potatoes. And it's not like there's no potato seed. Okay. You have to have your potato. And when the eyes grow on it, you can cut that up and you can make several different plants from that one potato, that you have. So it's all a process. It takes time. Again, figuring out what works, and yeah. When potatoes start getting soft, oh, can them. Yep, Mary Taylor. Yep, exactly. Yeah, there's another thing. Making sure that you're saving your stuff, and again, putting your stuff in separate locations, cool, dark places that it can last longer. That's all really important as well. So what are we at? We got 361 in the chat. We're at 313 on a thumbs up. Let's say 350. That gives us what, 37 more thumbs up, folks. Just for fun, let's see if we can hit 350 thumbs up in this live stream. um, Again, if you are, please hit that thumbs up to show support. Again, I very much appreciate that. Really does make a huge difference with the algorithms. Again, so more interaction, the better for the channel. So I do appreciate it for that reason as well. Again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And thank you. So, sweet potatoes are awesome. Yes, I love sweet potatoes as well. Actually, sweet potatoes are more nutritious than regular potatoes. So, that's something too. All right, we're going to start out with Heavenly Hills Homestead. That is Ryan growing giant vegetables. If anybody's been watching his channel, he just got a small tractor to utilize on his property, which is awesome. And that'll be very, very cool as well with what he's going to be doing this year. You have Ikican up in Canada, living off grid up there, doing a great job. Definitely check him out as well. There is Angry Prepper, that is Jason down in New York City. Jason is awesome, great guy. Definitely should be supporting Jason. You have Alaska Prepper, that is Rudy. Rudy's a great guy as well. Good information on his channel. There is Alaska Granny. You have Sean James with the Sean James channel, and myself, Reliance, two different channels. Living off grid up in Canada, master builder. Really interesting to watch what he does. Really cool to see what he's got going on up there, and it's really, really neat. We have Demcad. Excuse me. Demcad's another good guy. Walks a walk and talks a talk. So that's a good thing. You have Corporal's Corner. There's Bjorn Hansen. You have 80K Man up in the Adirondacks. There is Bizariza Jizza, who does the Carrington Chronicles. Very interesting story. You can take a lot of good information out of that story. You have Marfugal News, Adam and Dax out on the West Coast doing their thing out there. Really fun to watch what they have going on there. You have Magic Prepper in North Dakota. There is Wranglestar. That is Cody. Cody's got a lot of great information on his channel. There is Red Poppy Ranch. You have Survival Lily coming at you from Europe, giving you all the latest information of what's going on. There is Kyle's Cabin. Kyle and Sierra doing their thing up in Minnesota. Nice young couple living off grid in Minnesota. You have Bush Radical in Girl in the Woods, husband and wife team. Really interesting to watch what they're doing. Nice people, a lot of wealth of information. They split their time between Michigan and Alaska. There is Green Greg's doing his thing. Very interesting to watch him getting ready to move out to Arizona. There is Southern Prepper One with his Boots on the Ground series. Very interesting stuff there with his channel as well. There is Gray Man Prepping. You have Doug and Stacy. Doug and Stacy have been around for a long time. Good channel, a lot of good information on their channel. The Nomadic Movement, living down in Panama, doing their thing down there. Really interesting to watch them as well. The Green Dream Project out in Arizona, a young couple living in the desert, showing you what it takes to live in the desert. You have Camping with Steve Wallace doing stealth camping up in Canada. Definitely some tips to pick up, but fun to watch what he does. There is Bush Doctor Survival. You have Monkey Works. There is the Needy Homesteader. Good channel, a lot of good information on there. Boss of the Swamp, another master builder doing his thing, showing you how to do it up in, he's all over. He had places in New York and Maine and other places as well. And I know he got rid of the New York places, but I'm not sure exactly where he's at right at the moment. You have Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Diamond's a real smart guy doing his thing, tell you everything you need to know about the sand or grand solar minimum. There is Patera with the Appalachian Homestead. Very straight shooter. I appreciate that. I like that channel a lot. There is City Prepper. You have Lumina Acres. There is Suspicious Observer, showing you what's going on with the sun, all the sunspots and solar flares and all that off of the sun. Very interesting channel. There is Bear Independent, the Uneducated Economist. There is Bushcraft Bear in the Canary Islands of La Palma. You have Mary Greeley News giving you all the latest information of what's going on with Yellowstone and all that there. There is Adapt 2030. You have Malachi's Corner. Truth Be Told with Tara. If you're going to get your weather, there's only one guy you should be getting your weather from, and that is Ryan Hall Y'all. Ryan Hall's a very passionate about the weather, but he also gives back to the community when there's a disaster in a huge way. Really good guy. There's Russell Brand, who does his thing. I like the information that he presents, and he lets you decide what you want to do with it. Deep South Homestead, another very family-friendly oriented channel. You have The Outsider up in Maine. There's Betting on Alaska. Young man actually just posted a video. I saw it today, I believe. He's back doing his thing up there. He is the son of Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods, starting his journey up in Alaska. There is The Fit Farmer. You have Prep Rebel, Simple Life Reclaimed. There is Townsend's showing you what it's like to live in the 1800s. Definitely pick up some good tips there. The Prepared Mind. There's Pinball Preparedness down in Tennessee. There's East Tennessee Preparedness. You have the Economic Ninja. And last but not least, Little House Off Griddy. A lot of good channels, a lot of good information, folks. I think we should, sorry for rubbing my eyes here. We should be supporting each other. I think it's a good thing. So definitely let's continue to do that. What did I just do? Hold on. Okay. I took my pen out. I'm like, why is that pen sitting there? All right, there we go. It marks my spot, so I don't have to go hunting for it every time. A lot of channel and other people put channels in the comments that they like, and that's fine. I have no problem with that. I can't give a shout out to everybody, so I just try to do the best that I can. So we're at 337. We need 13 more thumbs up to hit 350, guys. So let's keep them coming so we can see if we can hit that goal just for the fun of it. Just a number, but it's kind of fun to see if we can hit that. Again, there's a lot of good gardening channels on YouTube. A lot of good information out there. If you want to try to pick up tips, definitely do your research. Look for people that have been gardening for a long time. Look at what they're doing. I'm more like I don't like to. I like to use a lot of natural stuff if I can. I think it's kind of important. What's the matter, baby? What you doing? I like to try to use as much natural stuff as I can. Natural deterrents, like again, like I said, with you know, putting in the marigolds in the end of the aisles really does help with some of the bugs out there. So that's kind of fun too. But yeah, there's like I said, there's a lot of good channels out there that will show you different tips of what you can use, and you can try them. Have an area where you're experimenting. I think that that's important to do that. You should always experiment, seeing again, depending on what region of the country you're in, what works, what doesn't work, what can you grow, you know, where you're going to get the best yields possible. So those are just things to think about, plan for, and be ready for. And like I said, as long as you're doing that, you're going to be okay. But learn as much as you possibly can. I think that that is so important. Moving forward. So we're at 343. Now we need seven more, guys. Seven more thumbs up. The administration is using the following mantra used by Kissinger: control the food, control the masses. Oh, absolutely. Henry Kissinger said that back in the 1970s. Control the food, control the people. Think about that. So if you make yourself as independent as you possibly can be, again, I don't want to rely. My biggest thing, folks, I'll tell you, I don't want to rely on the government. I want to rely on me and my people. That's it. I don't want somebody telling me what to eat, how to eat it, what I can eat, what I can't eat. I want to do my own thing. Try to be as free as I possibly can be. When you're raising your own livestock, when you're growing your own food, you know what kind of life that animal's had, and you know where that food is coming from. So I think that that is really important, because then you know it's not all full of pesticides and everything else. It gives you that opportunity again to get something. I'm hoping, like I say, this year with the fruit trees, we probably won't get a huge yield this year off the fruit trees, but I would like to see some. Obviously, I think that would be cool, and it's just like I said, it's just a matter of time, and we'll see how it goes. But highly recommend getting the more mature trees if you're going to buy fruit trees, because it won't be as many years. It took us in New York probably 6 years before we actually started getting yield off of those trees up in New York, which was maddening. Which was maddening. Are you pruning them, Ed? Yes, I. There's one of the apple trees um, that have some dead branches that I'm going to definitely be pruning. I will top these trees off too. I'll let them get up to a certain height, and I'm going to top them off there, and then I'll let them so they spread out and not up. The cherry trees, folks, I've seen cherry trees 30 feet in the air. Okay, you're not getting those cherries. You're just not going to do it. So if you can keep them lower to the ground so that they spread out this way, you're going to get a much better yield. No, I do not spray. Nope, I do not spray. So, all right, let's do this. We are three away. We need three more thumbs up to hit 350 for the goal. Uh, we are Legion. We are all over the world. We're all over the country. Where is everybody from tonight? So let's do that. We got Fayetteville, North Carolina with Carol, Toledo, Ohio with Jamie, Virginia with Critter Lover, Nowhere, Oklahoma with Okie Forge, Anderson, South Carolina, Sean the Englishman from Chatham, Ontario, Canada, Ozark, Arkansas, Hillbilly with Randall. We have Inverness, Florida with Clyde in the house, Missouri in the Ozarks with Delbert, Sandy in New York, Connecticut with Awesome Sauce, Austin, Texas, with Billy the Kid Nowhere. 80K Man up in the Adirondacks. Janita in Palaco, Idaho. East Central Illinois with Ranger. BC, Canada with Emil. St. Augustine, Florida with Diane. Savannah, Georgia with Tiger. Black Mountain, North Carolina with Lamb's Light. Dallas, Texas with Beads and Beans. We got Kona from Hawaii. I hope I said her name right. I apologize if I didn't. Woodstock, Tennessee. We have Michigan in the house with Michigan Lifestyle. Northern Minnesota with Susan. Caution, Ohio with Lulu. Blanche, North Carolina with Matt. Nova Scotia with Budnick. I don't even know. Columbus, Ohio with Julie. West Virginia with R Squared. Texas with Dust Devil. Canandaigua, New York with Dr. Data. Been in Canandaigua many times. Morning Light in West Virginia. We got Lori in California. North Central Iowa with Ace. Lee McClellan. We got West Virginia with Lee. Let's see. West Central Ohio with Dale. McDonough, Georgia with Catherine. I'm probably over pronouncing that. I apologize. We got the UP of Michigan with Dawn. Bergen, New York with Prepared For. I lived in Bergen as a young man for a year. Right on Main Street. Robert in Central Iowa. Backside of Texas with Ron. Western New York with Sherry Ann. Sandy in the middle of Tennessee. So again, folks, all over the country, all over the world, huge, huge network of people. We're the ones that can make a difference now by trying to wake people up, trying to educate people, trying to help people. I think that that's important. We can really make a big difference after an event by educating people. They'll be much more perceptive at that point to learn and listen. So I think it's important. We should try to help people if we can. Excuse me. So anyway, yeah, it just like I said, my thing that I will always reiterate over and over to you guys is continue to prep, continue to get ready, learn as much as you possibly can. Um, Again, we do not know how much time we're going to have, so it's important to take care of what we can take care of now. That's the biggest key. And when the shoe drops, we deal with that, what we have to deal with then. I want to thank my monitors, folks, who do an absolutely awesome job keeping the chat clean. I could see that everybody was really busy in the early part of the stream, banging people out. So I have no idea what was said, but because I missed that part. All of a sudden I see deleted by, deleted by, deleted by. So, but yeah, it's just I really appreciate what they do. The ladies and gentlemen that moderate for me, they're awesome. I want to thank all you guys for being here as well. It's really important. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. So, really appreciate the support of the channel. As somebody saw, I don't remember who said it, but they was like this was their favorite live stream because they eat, live, and breathe gardening. Gardening is so important, so important, and I really want people to realize that because without food, we're screwed. So, food and water, those are the number one and two priorities, water being number one. You can live a lot longer without food than you can without water. Water, you're looking at 3 days. So making sure that you have both is important. Knowing what to do, how to do it is also important. So again, I will always continue to encourage you to do that. I see we're at 360 now with the thumbs up, so we hit the goal. So I appreciate that. Again, folks, remember we truly are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. As soon as we could figure that one out, we were going to be in much better shape. We have to stop letting them divide us. They use race, they use religion, they use political affiliation. All of it's nonsense. All of it means nothing. It really doesn't. Also, remember to hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. And I'd go get a shamrock shake for St. Patty's Day. Yeah, no, I'll stay away from the shamrock shakes. But yes, happy St. Patty's Day to everybody as well. I know I didn't say that in the beginning of the stream. I know it's St. Patty's Day, so I hope everybody had a good one there. Last but not least, guys, STD, step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to accomplish, if you follow that mantra, it works. It really, really, truly does. If you set realistic goals and you set about to making them happen, the only one stopping you from reaching those goals is you. That's it, nobody else. If you stay positive and stay away from the negativity, you're going to be just fine. That's the key. That is the key. Don't listen to negative people telling you what you can't accomplish. Go ahead, set that goal, make it happen. It's the best way to shut them up as well because they can't tell you what you can't do when you've done it. Simple, right? My favorite thing to tell people when they tell me that I can't do something is I go, watch me. And it gets done every single time. And then they have to shut up because what can they say then? Right? Well, you didn't do it fast enough, whatever. So, anyway, be safe, keep prepping. I will see you guys all later. Have a great week, and I will see you later. Prepper Nurse One out for now.